Hello. Hi. I hope you slept well last night. Sleep is important. I slept pretty good, actually. I slept like 6.5 hours, but what's weird is I didn't even have my timer set. This is the second recording I've done today. I've never had to redo a recording, but the last recording I had was just so, it was so boring. It's just, what I do is just I talk. But that last one, it was just me talking about a story and then just running out of stuff to talk about. But I didn't conclude. I didn't conclude pretty much the first. How do I put this? I couldn't conclude it in a way that was good to end off on. So because of that, I scrapped that, and I said screw it. And I mean it's not like I lost a day's worth of work. It's just it was 25 minutes, I think, which really isn't. It's not that bad. It's not that bad at all. So I think I'm gonna have a list of stuff to talk about. I remember the last video I was talking about cooking and fried rice. Fried rice was really good. I forgot to make some. I think I said I was gonna make some yesterday. I either said it or I thought about it. I either said it or thought about saying it. Yeah, but nah. I remembered I mentioned that I wanted to discuss baking in this video. Just talk about baking. Baking is cool. If you ever baked boxed cake mix, try making. Try making stuff. Don't just it's if you're in a pinch, you can buy the boxed stuff, but I suggest try making stuff from scratch. It's fun. Make bread at least. Bread is kind of hard to mess up. Okay, that's a lot. Well, yeah, actually no. Bread is kind of hard to mess up in theory. But for me personally, I struggle with baking a lot. I just find it way more inconsistent than cooking. Cooking pretty much is just thing, uncooked, put it on the thing, cook it, keep cooking until it's good. I'm good with that, because it's right in your face. You can see it, and it cooks relatively fast. But baking, I've always struggled with a lot because it's very inconsistent. I've noticed, and especially since I have a different oven now, it's way harder. I remember I made sourdough a while back. It was very fun, actually. I fed the little guy. I think I named him. What did I name him? I named him Albert or something. But yeah, sourdough starter. You'd be surprised how easy it is. Actually, you pretty much get flour, you get water, you mix it until you get a paste, a thick paste, almost toothpaste consistency, maybe a little thicker. And you cover it with a cloth and you put the jar loosely on. And then the next day, you do the exact same thing. Flour, water. The next day, take out half of it. You can just throw it out. Flour, water, and keep doing that until you notice it's puffed up a lot. When I looked it up, it said it should have taken a week. And I was thinking okay, that's fine. I'm willing to wait a week for some sourdough. 3 days in, the thing was overflowing. And it's not because I had messed up the recipe. It's not because I messed it. Yeah, it's not because, how do I put this? It's not the recipe. It's not because I put way too much stuff in there. It's not. It's just because I think I had it near the stove and my family was doing a lot of cooking those few days. So I think the heat might have sped it up. That's my main theory. Either that or I'm just really good at making sourdough starter. Probably probably the first one though, actually. But yeah, from that sourdough starter, I looked up a very basic recipe. I made the recipe, but I had school. So I made the dough in the morning and I put it in the fridge for some reason. I don't know why. I think because I did that when I was making it later, it couldn't proof properly. If you don't know what proofing is, pretty much it's just leaving the bread alone so the bread gets bigger. Pretty much. It's just when the bread gets fluffier, but without you cooking it, pretty much. It's just the yeast doing its thing. It's just air being inside the bread, pretty much. And because I put it in the fridge, it slowed that down heavily. Yeah, so the bread didn't proof, and I pretty much had like a when I was done with the recipe, I had like a World War II ration looking like dense loaf, and I gaslit myself into thinking that it was good, and I was sharing it with like my family, and they were saying like this is really dense. I'm like, yeah, I think that's just how it is. Yeah, but looking back now, it tasted absolutely horrible, and then once it cooled down, it was like a brick. So I think I'm probably gonna try to make it again. But just like a fair warning with sourdough starter, it smells kind of funky. Like it shouldn't smell like absolute poison, but if it smells like old milk, you made it right. That's just kind of how it is. Because the reason it smells like old milk sometimes, because that's just how sourdough starter is. Not only it's like fermented, but also it's all yeah. Because that's how it is. That's how sourdough starter is. Because it's sour, because it's fermented. It's science. It's just how it is. But yeah, I was gonna say. But yeah, going like to like summarize the reason, like it can smell like milk specifically is because it has like a similar thing in it to milk. I don't know how to explain it. And that's just kind of how it is. That's just how it is. But one thing I learned that's actually really good to know. Once you're done using it, you do not have to throw it out whatsoever. You don't have to just keep feeding it over and over again. What you can do actually is you can just chuck it in the fridge. If you chuck it in the fridge, it slows it down and it makes it so it doesn't need to eat for a while. Because yeah, you have to feed it. You have to feed the sourdough starter. And when you put it in the fridge for a little while, if I remember correctly, like it's kind of gray sometimes, which is completely normal. It's completely normal for it to be like that. It just means you gotta feed it again. But yeah, pretty much with sourdough starters. Once you take it out of the fridge, just give it another spoonful of flour and like I think a little bit of water, and just let it sit overnight, and it should be good to go. And just make more bread. 'Cause bread tastes good. I like bread. Bread makes me happy. I want to get better at making bread. Actually, that's something I want to get better at. Cause I remember I struggled a lot. Like this last summer, I struggled a lot with cooking meat. I was absolutely terrified to do it because I was afraid I was gonna contract like every known disease to mankind. But then I got good at it. I'm like, wait, this is actually really easy. I wanna have that same progression, but with baking. I'm sure it's just simple, and I'm just stupid. I'm sure it's actually really easy, but I'm just like, yeah, I'm just incompetent pretty much. I want to get better at that actually. I might make some later. I had the sourdough starter for a while, but then my family was saying like it smells weird, like it smells sour. And I'm like, it's sourdough. Why do you think you think it's gonna smell sweet? Yeah, so they threw out Albert, my sourdough starter. They threw it out, which didn't make me sad, but I was just like, damn, I had that for like a week. I was gaining emotional attachment to my little jar of sourdough starter. It sucked to see him go. It wasn't. I had to cope for months. I had a. Nah, I'm joking. Like it kind of sucked. It was like a waste of time, because I'd waited a long time to get that. Like it's like damn near free to make more. It's damn near free. Flour is very cheap. Like total amount cost wise to make a decent sized jar of sourdough starter is like less than $1. Like a container of flour is like a bigger container of flour is maybe like $12, maybe. And for the most part, I feel like everyone should everyone should have like a $12, Like yeah, what's it called? You would think it's like a big investment if $12 seems like a lot, but I mean, flour usually lasts a while, so. I like cooking. cooking is fun. Baking is hard, but I feel like it could be more rewarding than cooking. Because baking, you can make lots of like good stuff, like yummy stuff, like cookies. I used to be really good at making cookies. Then I stopped making cookies for a little while, and then I completely forgot how to make cookies. I had a recipe. The recipe I used, I remember I got it from my culinary class a while back. I still kept the little book, like our notes that we would have for the recipes. Actually, no, we didn't even have notes. She would print out the recipe that she found on like, I don't even think Pinterest, probably like Tumblr or something. She just found recipes, and then and just like, yeah, she just printed it out, gave it to us, and said like, okay, here, do this, and then gave us like 15 bowls to put every individual ingredient into, which she had said it was for the sake of organization, but I don't understand the point of organization if you have to, like, I don't understand how you could claim it's organization, because like, yeah, it makes sense to have everything in its own place, but still, I don't think a metal bowl for for a singular egg, I don't think that's necessary. But it taught me organization though, which is good. It taught me yeah, pretty much just keep stuff in a way that you know where everything is, I guess. And it also helped me like keep track of what stuff I put in the I put in the recipe. It helped me keep track of what I put in the stuff and what I haven't put in yet, which for the most part is common sense. But it was cool. I liked the recipes I learned. For the most part, they were good. Not all of them, but most of them. There's one thing we had made, which was a pasta sauce, which I didn't like it. I don't really like tomato-based sauces. They're acidic a lot of the time. Like tomato is good. I like tomato, but I feel like if you have tomatoes that aren't really that good, it just kind of sucks. I don't know how to explain it. Like I don't like acidic stuff, if that makes sense. Like it's kind of unpleasant. Baking is cool though. I'm trying to think what I want to bake. Actually, I haven't baking recently, actually. I've been baking a bunch of like boxed cakes actually. Which is, it's fun, but it's boring. I think I made icing for the first time in my life relatively recently too. It's actually really easy. It's just at least the recipe that I'd use, it was just like butter, powdered sugar, and like a little bit of milk. And it was good. I liked it. I had probably like a spoonful of it. Well, I didn't just make frosting because I wanted to eat it. I made frosting because I was making a cake. I want to get good at baking bread. Baking bread would be fun. I like baking bread. I want to get good at baking bread. Like it would be a nice gift too, you know. Like it's one thing. How do I explain this? Like it's one thing your friend gets you, like, I'm trying to think of like a basic present for Christmas that people dislike. I'm trying to think of one. Let's go with like, let's just use like socks for this hypothetical. Maybe? I don't know actually. I can't think of the last time I gifted a friend socks for Christmas. Okay, what I'm trying to get at is, you know, baking someone a loaf of bread I feel like is a nice gift. You know, it's something that's like you don't get often, you know. I feel like that's always been a thing with me with presents. I don't like pre-made presents. I don't like just getting someone a gift card. That's really lazy. When I give someone a gift, I prefer it to be like handmade. Even if it's something really basic, even if it's just like a really basic like card, I still prefer to make something handmade. Or maybe just I like arts and crafts. I like turning something that's like completely worthless into something that looks kind of cool. trying to think what type of bread I want to make though, because there's a lot of different types of bread. And what sucks is for a lot of bread, it's not impossible to make without a stand mixer, but a stand mixer makes it way more easy. Maybe I'll just make like a basic like loaf of bread. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be like a really nice loaf of bread. It just has to be a loaf of bread. If it's bread, it works. Like bread is good. What sucks a little bit is I know I've struggled a lot with like baking times. It's just I don't know why I've always had like really bad luck with baking. Like the outside is always either like borderline burnt or the inside is still like doughy. Or I've had times where both of that happens. Maybe I just suck. Maybe I just suck at baking. I don't know. But I mean like it's a skill, you know, it could be learned. Like it's not impossible to bake. There are people who bake a lot and they get good at it. And I want to get good at it because I want to get good at baking. I don't know, it seems fun. I'm trying to think where else I can go from baking. Baking, I like pastries. Pastries are cool. Like I feel like like this topic of baking, I feel like I can only take it so far, you know. At a certain point, it's gonna get boring, but I mean, at least I have a topic, you know. At least it's not just 25 minutes of me talking about like stories I had at school. The last video was pretty much like 15 minutes of me talking about that single school story, just saying details about it, but none of the details were really funny. I mean, one detail was actually, to summarize the story pretty much, it was like, I don't know what it was. I had like this problem where I could not function without like a multi-hour nap in the middle of the day. So I would sleep like my 8 hours I needed. That's like recommended by like doctors. I would sleep my 8 hours and then I would go to school for like 8 hours. And I would get home and I would sleep for like another 8 hours. And not even 8 hours. I would sleep for like 7 hours. So pretty much I would sleep, go to school, get back from school, go to my couch and just knock out until pretty much dinner time, and then right after dinner I would go to my room and I'd just sleep again. And my family was getting concerned. They thought I was like developing like something, I don't know. They thought I was just like getting more just like more messed up mentally. And I found out the reason for it actually was a potential reason. We still don't know, because I was scheduled to have a brain scan just to see like are the like silly little issues I have, like are they related to like something physical, or is it just am I just messed up in the head? And what they had found was I had a cyst in my pineal gland, which the pineal gland in the brain, from what I understand, what little I understand about the brain, it's pretty much it tells your brain if it's daytime or nighttime. And the idea we had, the reason I would sleep so much, is because it was potentially messed up and made it so my brain couldn't tell if it was like daytime or nighttime properly. Which is plausible. That's actually it's very possible, because we had caught the brain cyst probably like a year or two after we should have. And it's a little unfortunate, but the reasoning for it was my mom. I'm not blaming her for it, but it's just kind of funny how it happened. Like they recommended a brain scan, and she just had like I'll do it later mentality, and she never did it later. And then we found out I had a cyst in my pineal gland. I was like concerned. I'm like, am I gonna die from this? And they're like, it's probably fine. It's probably something like like not dangerous at all. But they still wanted to check. They took it to a group of people. I think it was like a lot. I can't remember. It was like 20, maybe 30 people. And I think out of all of them, one of them said it looks like it's cancerous. So I was just kind of praying on that like 3% chance. I was praying on that 3% chance not being the case. You know. I had a follow-up scan a while later, and I find out it's not growing at all. It's probably, I can't remember the word for it when something like that doesn't do anything, but it was probably just completely harmless. It was completely harmless, and they concluded it probably didn't have anything to do with my mental issues, which is, I mean, that's good to hear. You know, it's good to hear I don't have cancer, but I mean, at the same time, you know, we could have caught that thing way earlier. Like, if it was bad, that yeah, it would have been bad actually. I named him Barry, by the way. That was fun. I don't know. This video's gonna have a crazy ass title. It's just talking about baking in the cyst in my pineal gland. Oh, that's an absolutely cooked title. That's crazy. Actually, yeah, I think that's where I'm gonna stop it. It's just a really quick story. There wasn't anything bad to it. It was just pretty much. No, I slept a lot back then. I don't know what the hell happened to me. I don't know why that was a problem. And it was so confusing because I would sleep, let's do the math here. I would sleep like 15 hours a day. 15? Yeah, like 15 hours a day. I would only be up for like an hour pretty much when I was at home before school, when I was at home after school, and then when I was eating dinner right before I went to sleep. So I would sleep like 15 hours, and it sucked. Like my grades tanked, which it made my dad pissed, and then it made my mom concerned. But yeah, you gotta understand when you have someone like me that goes from like going to sleep at like 1 a.m. and getting like 7 hours of sleep or like 6 hours of sleep consistently for months and months and months, and then from that I go to like 15 hours of sleep a day. Like that's bad. That's really bad. Remember, it sucked too. I was also just really unproductive because back then I was still interested in, well, I still am. Back then I was making music like a lot more than I am now. And I would just get like nothing done at all. Like all over the place. Like everything was just super unproductive. I was just sleeping all the time. It sucked. And then even at school I would sleep more. Like I had this teacher, it was in history class. I cut out that last part. I had to sneeze really loud. It was in history class. I think, did I summarize the story already or not? No, okay. The story pretty much I was saying in the last like attempt to record this video. It was history class. My teacher, he would do collective punishments. So if one person screwed up, the whole class would get in trouble. Everyone hated it so much. No one was paying attention, and it was like, all right, fine, you don't want to get any work done? Fine, we won't get any work done. So he completely stopped the lesson and just sat there, like giving like a mean stare to everybody with his arms crossed. And he wasn't a mean guy, it's just we pushed him to his limits. He was really nice. It was like picture like a nice like old neighbor that's like super friendly. Like that was pretty much just him. He was super chill dude. I feel bad though because that class that he had like it sucked, and I feel bad. And one time, like during one of those collective punishments, I was like, okay, I'm not just gonna sit here for 40 minutes, I think, till the end of class. So I just rested my head and my arms, and I slept for the entirety of that period. And then I woke up, everyone was gone. I'm looking around confused, and I turned towards the door, and he's standing, he's leaning against the wall, arms crossed, and he's like looking at the floor. He's like, yeah, they're all gone. I just said, oh. And I got my backpack, said bye, and then I left. I feel kind of bad for him. Yeah, but in my defense, I had a cyst in my pineal gland that was potentially messing up my brain, so, yeah. I think he should be retired by now. I'm pretty sure he said he's gonna retire, go to Florida, and just fish for the rest of his days, which is honestly that's very understandable. Especially with what we put him through in that class. But anyways, I think that's a good spot to stop it. I'm probably gonna call this video like yapping out baking, and also the cyst in my pineal gland. I'm gonna have that last bit in parentheses. I'm not even say it's like clickbaity. Like it's not even like you're not gonna believe like this crazy thing. Like it's true. I had like the thing. It's probably still in my brain actually. I last had it scanned a while, almost a year ago now. I mean, what's important is we had a second follow up scan. Forgot to mention this. We had a second follow up scan, and they said it wasn't growing at all, which is good. So I have like a tiny, I think it was like 2 centimeters. It's like a tiny, no, maybe like half an inch actually. It's just like a tiny little pocket of fluid. It's just like a little potentially cancerous Capri Sun. But yeah, there's really I can't think of much else to talk about. We talked about baking, talked about story, summarized that story, which is good because I ran out of stuff to talk about. So I think I'm gonna leave it here. If you've listened this far, I hope you have a nice day. And if you didn't listen this far, I still hope you have a nice day, even if you didn't hear it. I will see you tomorrow. I had fun. And yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. So drink water, care about yourself, love yourself. That's important. And have a nice day. See ya.